Hey YouTube, check these deer out. That's right by my little spot I made. My little relaxing spot. You know how they have like the ponds with a bench and everything? Well, that's like kind of what I built with my little sand bed, and I got a little bench right here and everything else, but oh, there's always deer right here too. This video is gonna be about earth angels and their strong connection to superheroes. That really, when I was first awakening, that really stuck out, and I thought that was really funny and really cool. But yeah, it's definitely true. That's why I love my middle name so much. My middle name is Wayne, and I love it because of Bruce Wayne. Batman was always my favorite superhero. And I think for Earth Angels, it's because it seems like superheroes, it's very similar. Like you look at Batman, well, I mean, he was rich and had a good childhood, but both his parents were murdered right in front of him, and he kind of goes off the rails, and he goes through all these struggles, and he has to learn how to fight and how to be a detective, and he starts inventing things, and I don't know if you guys can see the deer right there. And, you know, he ends up getting beat up a lot, learning how to fight. And it's like the same thing. He's born into this family. His parents are killed. He goes through all these hardships his entire life. And then when he's older, when he's like a full-on adult, and then he's able to become this superhero and really do good and help people. And even though he has all this power, he's so humble, and he'd give his life to save someone in a heartbeat without even thinking about it. And it really trips me out sometimes. And all these, I don't care if it's a cartoon or a movie, they're all like related to like the universe and God, it seems like. Even like the Lion King, we are one, because we're all connected. Almost like if you could see someone's energy, like there's a little string connecting them, supposedly. And it's so true. It's just with everything, even like what with Star Wars, you have the dark side and the light. It's just the Matrix. It's amazing they put it all in there. But it's very similar. Not all superheroes have tough backstories, but I would assume that a lot of Earth Angels prefer the superheroes with tougher backstories like Batman. And it's kind of similar. You're an incarnated angel born into a very dysfunctional, rough family. My mother was always very sick and depressed, and she had children very young. And she passed away a while ago, but yeah, she was always very sick and depressed, and she always did her best. She was actually able to while she was like sick and going through problems, she was able to go through school and even become an RN while she was sick, and she excelled and did very well even though she had all those problems. I can only imagine what she would have been able to do if she was fully healthy. But yeah, you're born into usually dysfunctional families, and I'm not going to talk bad about my family because I love them all very much, and they'd all pretty much do anything for me. And nobody's perfect, and I always look at the good in people, you know. But my father, he didn't have an easy childhood either. and I love my grandpa too, but he's definitely a rough guy. I remember um, I met one of his friends like a couple months ago, and he goes, "Oh, you're Larry's grandson?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Man, he was tough." He said, "I remember we were out drinking, and he had passed out in the car, and me and my other buddy, we were pretty small, and we were just kind of hanging out by the car, and these three huge guys pull up, and there was three of them, and it was just the two of us because your grandpa was sleeping, and they basically started to punk him, and my grandpa woke up, got out, and said, 'What's going on?' And those guys started to get tough, and he said, 'Well,' and the guy's telling me the story. He said, and your grandpa goes, 'Well, I'll fight all three of you right now.' And they all took off and got in their car. So I thought that was a funny story. But those deer are still down there too. I think one of them is a buck, but they might be in the trees right now. But I don't think he had an easy childhood either. But yeah, he was a rough, tough guy. My dad ended up being very rough and tough, and he was very smart though. He was able to really excel in the Carpenters Union and really rose up the ranks pretty fast. But yeah, a lot of times you're born into narcissistic families, and usually there's a lot of narcissists in the family. A lot of people have never even seen a narcissist, but I've been around them my entire life. But my dad has gotten a lot better too, and a lot of people say that, oh, they can't get better, it's impossible, but he's gotten a lot better, and he would do anything for his family. Well, my mom was sick too. He never even thought about leaving her. He stayed with her the whole time. He never cheated on her or anything. So yeah, he is you always have to look at the good in people, and yeah, he is very loyal, and he definitely turned me and my three brothers into men, that's for sure. But yeah, just the whole backstory, you're born into a dysfunctional family, and you just end up going through all these things, and God, he puts all these in your path, and he's refining you, putting you in the fire, refining you like a sword, making you tough and wise and strong, and you go through all these struggles, and eventually you awaken, you find out who you are, and you become who you are. You find out that you're an earth angel, and it is similar, it's similar to like the story of a superhero like Batman, born into this family, both his parents are killed, born into a rough family, and you go through all this stuff your entire childhood, and even as an adult, and then finally you're ready to really go out and make a massive difference in the world and do good. And that's why even as adults, earth angels love superheroes, and that I don't think that will ever change. Earth angels are always going to love superheroes and their stories, because that's the way it is. That's why when you awaken, it's so important, because you feel like you have the world on. Like I said, it feels like you're supposed to be Batman or something. You're supposed to be going around just making this massive impact and doing all this good in the world, but you're like, you feel that you should be doing that, but you're like, how do I do it? Like, what, I'm not Batman. Like, how do I do all this good in the world? And then like I really feel like I was supposed to do something good, and then you awaken, you're programmed to awaken at the right time. I happened to awaken in 2024, when they say that there's a lot of earth angels that are supposed to awaken this year, and a lot of people for that matter. And then all of a sudden, that just like, you awaken, and now all of a sudden you're an earth angel, and it all makes sense now. That's why, and like I said, it can cause, when you see all this evil, you literally feel like you should be out there just handling business, and it can cause like health problems, because it feels like you have the world on your shoulders, and then God just makes you awaken. You're programmed to awaken at a certain time, and then you find out who you are, and it all makes sense. It all makes sense now. Your whole life makes sense. And I just noticed that a lot. It's not just with earth angels and superheroes, and they're close to the archangels too. I did a video on that. But it's just everything. Like I said, even the Lion King, what they're talking about, we are one. It's all true. The Matrix, it's all true. And it's just amazing. The Earth Angel story, where did they get that from? It's just like a superhero story. It's the same thing about, born into the world and you go through all this stuff, and then you awaken, or you're ready, you go out in the world and do good. It's just amazing. But if you feel, like I always say this too, leave it in the comments. I want to connect with other earth angels, people that feel they're earth angels or light workers, and just other people going through awakening, spiritual awakenings, because I think that we need to be here for each other. And it could be a lot going. For me, it's such a relief, and I think for all earth angels, because the awakening, this massive puzzle just comes together perfectly, and it's a load off. It's nice to finally know what you were put on this earth to do. But yeah, I would like to talk to other people that feel they're earth angels, and let me know if you also still to this day absolutely love superheroes, and which one's your favorite. And I want to learn more about this. Like I said, we're still early. I mean, how many most people have never, I always say this, most people have never even heard of an earth angel. A lot of earth angels don't even know who they are yet. They haven't even awoken yet. So I believe this is pretty new to the world. And we all need to be there for each other and help each other and learn from each other. That's what I'm really interested in. I really want to hear other people's stories and what they've been through. And I just want to, because we all have our own journeys, and it's all a little bit different. And there's other coincidences that are just kind of linked in there, but they're not that big of a deal. Like earth angels they bring love and light to the earth. My last name is Love. Other Christian coincidences, I'm a carpenter, my father's a carpenter, and I know Jesus was a carpenter and his father was a carpenter. There's this coincidence to Jesus, and it's just like a Christian coincidence. It's just kind of interesting. I was just always a bit different. I was born left-handed. Both my brothers are right-handed. I always thought my birthday was interesting, 4/20/89. But I want to hear that's huge. I want to hear other people's stories too. Other people going through spiritual awakenings, or earth angels. I really, if you're still on the fence about telling your story, I haven't even fully told my story yet, but I'm going to soon. Definitely tell your story. We need to learn from each other, and we have a lot of work to do. We're put here on this earth for a reason. So tell your story. Come out and tell your story. I'm gonna wrap this video up here.